I laughed at my brother for losing his job. My brother Marcus has spent the last decade pretending he is the savior of our family. He is a high-level architect who designs luxury hotels, and he never lets anyone forget it. He spends every Thanksgiving lecturing me about my lack of a career path because I chose to stay in our hometown and manage a local landscaping company. I make great money, but Marcus calls it playing in the dirt. He treats my girlfriend Jenna like she is invisible because she works as a dental hygienist instead of something prestigious. Last month, our parents celebrated their 40th anniversary at a 5-star restaurant Marcus picked. He invited his firm partners and some of his wealthiest clients to show off. The table was full of people talking about yacht clubs and international real estate. Every time I tried to talk about my recent expansion into hardscaping, Marcus would interrupt to ask the waiter for more wine or tell a story about his time in Dubai. Halfway through the main course, Marcus stood up to give a toast. He started talking about the importance of legacy and building things that last. Then he looked right at me. He said, "It is a shame some people are content with being temporary while others are busy shaping the skyline." One of his partners let out a sharp laugh. Jenna looked down at her plate, and I could see her hands shaking. I put my fork down and asked him if he was done. Marcus chuckled and said he was just being honest, and that I should appreciate the tough love from someone who actually provides for the family reputation. I didn't say a word. I just signaled for the check. Since Marcus had spent the whole night bragging about a massive bonus he just landed, everyone assumed he was paying. I told the server to split the bill down the middle. I paid for Jenna and myself and told my parents I would see them at home. Marcus started sputtering. He said it was embarrassing to haggle over a bill in front of his associates. I told him that since he was the one building legacies, he should have no problem covering the people he invited to watch him perform. I walked out and took Jenna to a dive bar for burgers and beer. We had a better time in 10 minutes than we did the entire night at that fancy place. 2 hours later, I was sitting on my porch when Marcus pulled up in his BMW. He looked like he had aged 5 years. He wasn't yelling anymore. He sat on my steps and put his head in his hands. He admitted that his firm had been hit with a massive lawsuit over a structural failure in a project he oversaw. He had been fired that afternoon. The big bonus he bragged about was actually a severance package he was trying to stretch for a year. He started crying. He said he was going to lose his house and that he had no idea how to tell our parents that the golden son was broke. He asked if I could loan him enough to cover his mortgage for a few months. He said he knew I had been saving up for a house of my own. I started laughing. I couldn't help it. The sound echoed off the quiet street. He looked at me like I was a monster. I told him it was funny how quickly he went from shaping the skyline to begging the guy who plays in the dirt for a handout. I told him that maybe he should try having a career with growth potential instead of a job that disappears the moment you make a mistake. He called me heartless. I told him I was just being ambitious about protecting my own future. I went inside and locked the door. I could hear him sitting on the porch for a long time before he finally drove away. My parents called me the next morning saying Marcus told them I was being cruel during his time of need. I told them I was just following his lead. He spent 10 years building a pedestal for himself, and I am not going to be the one to catch him now that it is crumbling. Full story on the channel, link below.